We're here today to officially celebrate this awesome new location for the KentuckianaWorks College Access Center and to highlight some of the life-changing work that these folks are doing. Now, as anybody will tell you, taking the steps necessary to get into college and then complete a degree can be a difficult process. And the options, the deadlines, the paperwork, there's a lot of moving parts going on with this. And it's all the more daunting if you come from a family and you're the first person to take a college path, or if you're new to the country, or if you're facing some other major life challenges as well. So a lot of the clients here at KCAC have those type of challenges, which we turn into opportunities here. So getting through the process can be a real challenge. So I always tell folks when they're not quite sure what to do, and they're a little hesitant to ask a question, I say, look, strong people, healthy people ask for help. And there's always somebody there to help for you, but we need you to take that first step. And that's why this center and its extraordinarily talented staff is so important here. You can get help with every aspect of going back to school, and completing the FAFSA is one of the big issues, finding scholarships, and then picking through all the right options so you find the right school with the right program so that when you're there, you're in the flow. You feel like that's where you're supposed to be. Time stands still because you're enjoying it so much. That's what the ultimate objective is. Last year, I'm proud to say, the Kentuckiana College Access Center helped more than 1,700 clients in the Louisville area tackle challenges like going to school. They provided access and guidance and counseling and resources to folks that could use it. And that's why this is so important. The data is really clear. The number one way to break the cycle of poverty is through a post-secondary degree. Could be a 4-year degree, 2-year degree, a PhD, a master's degree, could be a credential. But all the data is really clear. So if you're saying, well, I don't know if I should do this, you got to look yourself in the mirror and say, do I want to have a path forward? There's people here to help. Obviously, this is really good for people individually. It's good for their families. It's critical for our community as well. And when you think about how we're growing as a city, we need more people that have more degrees of expertise, more educational pathways that they've gone down so that they can contribute to a thriving and growing city that's facing toward the future. Bunch of ways we've helped. I want to again talk about Evolve 502. Evolve 502 came out of the 55,000 degree college program, which we're trying to get 55,000 more degrees in the community. We made huge progress on that, learned a lot along the way. Number one issue, not surprisingly, what's the number one barrier to somebody getting a college degree? It's cost. Okay, so Evolve 502, we raised over $20 million so that now every JCPS student, from an 8th grade graduate on through a senior in high school, does not have to worry at all about any financial issues as it pertains to going to college. So these are promised scholarships. If you're a JCPS high school student or graduating 8th grade student, you have a pathway to Jefferson Community Technical College or Simmons College for free tuition. Okay, it's a big deal. So if you're saying, I don't know if I can afford it, you can get that out of your mind now. That's here to help. You can come here to the Access Center to understand how to make that happen as well. So as everybody knows, and as the wonderful staff here knows, it is incredibly gratifying to be involved in efforts that will change people's lives. Just yesterday, somebody asked me, he said, how's Evolve doing? Because this is the first year of Evolve 502. We've got about 650, 700 students from JCPS that took advantage of the Evolve 502 scholarship. That's an additional 650 kids that maybe would not have gone on to college to get that post-secondary degree and break that cycle of poverty. That is great news. It does not happen just by happenstance or just because there's nobody to help. So before we get into this morning's speaker, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge and thank the KCAC team here. If my greeting was any indication this morning of the enthusiasm here, of the positive nature of the staff, of the appreciation for the life-changing work you all do, it's incredible. And that makes such a big difference because oftentimes, as you all know better than me, when somebody steps off that elevator, they're a little hesitant, right? And you got to love on them and welcome them like they're a member of the family. And then that makes them relax, come in here, and then we find a pathway forward for them as well. So that's great. So great job to the team here. I really appreciate y'all. And speaking of the team, Dr. Darius Brooks is the executive director of the KCAC, helps set the tone, build the team, and then navigate through this pandemic. Nobody had the pandemic in their business plan when it started 1+ year ago, but we got to keep serving people during this time. So, Dr. Brooks, really appreciate all of your good work.
Thanks, Mayor Fisher. Good morning. I would like to first thank you all for coming out and officially welcome you to 642 South 4th Street, the new home for KentuckianaWorks College Access Center. I would also like to start by thanking the KCAC staff for working so diligently to ensure that the residents of Jefferson County and Southern Indiana have an equitable opportunity to pursue their dreams. I would also like to thank them for their continued service to our JCPS students and our adult learners through the COVID-19 pandemic. I would be remiss if I didn't thank the KentuckianaWorks Executive Director, Michael Gritton, and also Mayor Fisher for their continued support and advocacy for education and workforce development here in the Commonwealth. So thank you. Thank you all for coming out.
Now we're going to hear from a couple of individuals who have been tremendously impacted by KCAC. First up is Keith Farah. He's going to tell his story. There's a lot to his story as well. So what you don't tell, I might brag on you further. But one thing I want to say in particular is, Keith is 8 years in recovery and shows people it's possible if you're struggling with substance misuse that you can get out of that with constant assistance and support from the community, and the type of way that he's impacting so many folks in such a positive way right now is truly inspiring. So, Keith, we appreciate you.
Good morning, everyone. About 8 years or so ago, I was homeless and struggling with addiction, and I emerged from that struggle with all of the barriers and all of the things that told me that it was going to be a challenge to live life to the extent that I saw the people around me living life. One of those barriers for me was education and where to start. I don't know if any of you all have tried to fill out a FAFSA before, but it's challenging. And at 43 years old, I was already terrified of the college process and going into school. And I was referred to KCAC by an advisor at JCTC where I was starting my classes. And what I remember about coming here that first day is the way I was treated as a human being. And even coming back once or twice a year, the same people that saw me the first time I got here, remembering me and my name when I came to meet Fred to help with that incredibly challenging FAFSA. And people like me needed that kind of compassion and needed that kind of positive regard. And I always got that coming here and continue to. That was the first thing that impressed me about the services that are offered here. And it definitely made me feel more confident in growing into being a responsible and participative human being in our community. I started out at Jefferson Alcohol and Drug Abuse Center about six and a half years ago in an entry-level position. 6 years later, I'm the executive director at Praxis Treatment Facility here in Louisville, Kentucky. Thank you. I'm in graduate school at Lindsey Wilson College, and I'll graduate next year. And I say those things because, yes, I've achieved an uncommon degree of success for people that have the kind of history that I had. That being said, what's important about that is that people see people like I was being able to achieve the things that I've been able to achieve. Because it's really not about me, it's about people in our community seeing people come from homeless into college, into successful careers, because it's possible for everybody. But not without the type of support that places like KCAC offers. So anything I've been able to achieve and accomplish was certainly not done by me, by myself. It's because I needed a whole group of people around me to guide me in the right directions. And I know KCAC was certainly a huge part of that, as was JCTC, as has been Lindsay Wilson. Because I just don't want to, I don't ever want to get to the point where I feel like everything that I get to do in life is normal, because it's not. I always want things to continue to be amazing opportunities and to be surreal, because statistically most people don't get to where I am in life who were afflicted by the illnesses that I had. So thank you all for your support. Thanks everybody for being here. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Well, great job, Keith. We appreciate you. And, you know, so much of leadership, as he just demonstrated here, is humility and helping other people as well. The more you help other people, the more you get back. And just really proud of the whole KCAC team here and success stories like Keith. And thank you for paying it forward. We're now going to hear from Tabarak Abdullah, another incredible story in our community. We have so many wonderful folks here in Louisville, and we're growing as a community for a lot of different reasons, but one of the reasons we're growing is because of our immigrant community, our refugee community that has provided so much vivaciousness to Louisville in terms of making us a more interesting place, a more entrepreneurial place. And it's just so important that we support our foreign-born population in Louisville. Tabarak came to the U.S. from Afghanistan, is in her senior year at the from Iraq. They have you in Afghanistan. Sorry about that. and is in her senior year at U of L. I met her originally because she was doing some intern work or an internship at our Office for Globalization. Did a tremendous work there. So we're really glad. Appreciate she works at Chase that they said, come on over here and help support KCAC here today. So Tabarak Abdullah, thank you for your great leadership as well.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tabarak. I'm a U of L student, senior, seeking a bachelor's degree. I'm also an associate banker at Chase Bank. But most importantly, I'm the daughter of two wonderful immigrants who moved here 10 years ago and fought the world so I can stand here today and share my story. My story here at this center started a little over 4 years ago. I was introduced to this center by my JCTC advisor as well, when I had so many questions. And they said that I can come here and get help. And at first, like everyone was saying, I hesitated. I was like, nah, I'm gonna just Google it. That didn't go so well. So I ended up showing up here. And like Keith was saying, I'm also one of the people that needed that compassion in my life. Because not only did I have to understand the process, I had to go home and translate all that to my parents. Tell my dad, I need your taxes again. And I'm gonna need it every October. So yeah, I worked with pretty much everybody in the office, but mainly Molly. So I would like to take a moment to especially thank her for standing me and explaining all the things that I needed to know and answering all the questions that weren't even FAFSA related. She helped me through it all. 4 years ago when I walked in here, I had no idea what I even wanted to do. I didn't know what scholarships were or how the FAFSA worked. Not only did she help me, she also worked with my other members of the family. And this year, I didn't have to come in to renew because I'm graduating in December. Thank you. However, I still came in to bring in my little sister from Moore High School. She was also going to join here. She has me to answer her questions. So, Molly, you're not going to have too much work to do. You'll have some. Still need that taxes. But yeah, believe me when I tell you, where I came from, it's really hard to find resources, especially for women seeking education overseas. So I'm very grateful to be here today to share my story and to have this team on my side. Thank you for your support.
Great job to Tabarak. Is Molly here? Yes. All right, let's hear it for Molly. Come on, Molly. Nice job. And we have a tremendous growing Iraqi community in Louisville that is, what I ask of our foreign-born population, one thing, ask more of your brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, nephews, nieces to move to our city. It's just a really important aspect of what's going on in Louisville. And you can see how quickly in 10 years ago, would you have believed you would be graduating in 1 month with a college degree?
Not at all.
So, this is what's possible here when people work together. And when you talk about people working together and providing leadership, Dr. Ty Handy, the president of Jefferson Community Technical College, Jefferson, has been a real light in our community. This is a guy that likes to solve problems, especially problems as it relates to more people coming to Jefferson and any type of barriers they have to get their degree. Dr. Handy just takes those head on. He pulls around the people that can help, gets community support, and then they get it done. So really appreciate, Ty, all the results at Jefferson. If you'd share a few words with us. Dr. Ty Handy.
Thank you, Mayor. Those were two compelling stories, but I think they're representative of the type of clients who come here for support and assistance. About 3/4 of the students who come here ultimately are coming through JCTC, Jefferson Community and Technical College, either to a technical career, a credential, or a 2-year degree that gets them right in the workforce, or on to a university for that bachelor's degree and perhaps even a master's degree. You're not through yet. I know you think you're through, but you've got more to do. It's a lifelong learning process. And what this community really recognized a few years ago, and I think they knew it before then, but they really came together a few years ago, was that a school like Jefferson, a community college that's funded less than it probably should be by the state and doesn't have the resources and is large with 12,000 students enrolled at our school. We're actually the 4th largest college or university in the state. That scale doesn't allow us the resources to have the individual attention to students who need that. And students coming from homeless environments, from challenging environments, from international environments. I think last year we had 750 students at our school whose high school degree came from outside the country. These students have additional needs, although our traditional student has lots of needs. And it's organizations like this that have stepped up in the community and said, we're going to make the difference, we're going to wrap our arms around these folks, and we're going to make sure they're successful. So it's really all about student success. And over the last 5 years, Jefferson has tripled its graduation rate of students. Tripled. And while I'd be the first to pat the faculty and the staff at the college for their role in doing that, I know the role this community has played in stepping into the void here and helping students feel they matter and that their education is successful. So I'm proud and pleased and to be a partner with KCAC. It's a great organization. We routinely refer students here because we know the quality support they get. And so I'm glad it's here, and I'm glad it's 2 blocks away from the college. So thank you very much, and congratulations on your success.
All right, thank you, Dr. Handy. I want to acknowledge that most of KCAC's funding comes from the United States Department of Education. So we also like to thank our leaders at the federal level, and certainly including our Congressman John Yarmouth, who chairs the Budget Committee and who supported this center for many, many years. So thank you to our federal partners. And I'd also like to acknowledge the entire staff of KentuckianaWorks. They have operated the College Access Center since 2005. Their executive director, Michael Gritton, thank you for your leadership and your team's leadership. As I understand it, is our KentuckianaWorks the only workforce investment board in the country to operate a center like this? So I think it speaks to the entrepreneurial nature and customer focus of KentuckianaWorks. So thank you, Michael, to you and your team for doing that. All right, so folks, here's the bottom line. If you or someone you know is considered going back to school to start or finish their college degree, check out the College Access Center. And even if you're saying, oh, I'm not going to go, please check it out. It is good in life to have options, and this is a tremendous option here for you, as you've just heard from our 2 speakers. Please stop by our new center's headquarters here in downtown Louisville at 642 South 4th Street, or you can give them a call at 584-0475, or of course go online to KentuckianaWorks.org/KCAC to make an appointment. But do it here today, and you will not regret it. Be a great change in your life. 5, 4, 3,